Welcome to our Denton Black Film Festival interview series, powered in part by the Denton Black Film Festival and Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com. Welcome back, everybody. We are live once again for another interview from the Denton Black Film Festival. It's day 3. We've had some really, really cool stuff happening in music and spoken word, and the Tech Expo's coming, and all these really, really cool things happening around town. And today we have got a director in studio, Victoria de Costa. How's it going?
I'm doing well. It's Victoria Costa.
Man, thank you very much. Did I say Victoria? Good gracious. Victorious de Costa.
We're old friends, if you can't tell.
There you go. So thank you very much for coming by the studio today. I really, really appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about your film.
My film is a documentary called Digging for Weldon, Irvine. It is a feature-length documentary. It's a little bit under 2 hours, and it's about Weldon Irvine. Weldon Irvine was, among other things, he was one of the founders of jazz funk and jazz rock fusion.
Okay.
He wrote songs and produced for Nina Simone. His most famous song, the lyrics he wrote, was To Be Young, Gifted and Black. So he was with Nina in the late 60s, some of the early 70s, a lot of her revolutionary stuff, including the song Revolution.
Cool.
Later on, he ended up teaching Q-Tip and Mos Def how to play the keys. And he was very instrumental in the underground up-and-coming hip-hop scene in New York City.
Very cool.
And he ended up going out in a very tragic way in 2002.
Okay.
He decided to leave on his own accord.
2002, so not that long ago.
Well, what was this, 18 years?
Well, I guess, yeah. Well, now that I'm thinking about it,
a certain age, yeah.
That's so weird to
Yes.
think about. We're 20 years into, man. Okay, well, anyways.
We're growing up. We're getting bigger. But yeah, so Weldon, he's the mentor of a lot of musicians coming out of Jamaica, Queens, like Lenny White, who is, you know him from Return to Forever, and
Gotcha.
Billy Cobham. And Weldon was just the guy. They call him a kingmaker, but
Cool.
he never became a star himself.
Interesting. Yeah. And so we got to talk a little bit before we got started, and you were saying the theme of the documentary isn't so much necessarily a music doc, but there's another message behind it. Let's go into that a little bit.
Right. So it's about a person who did jazz, he did funk, and so you're gonna have music in there as a backdrop. You can't tell a story without that. But Weldon was a poet first.
Gotcha.
He was a writer first. But before all of that, he was abandoned. He was abandoned by his father. Later, he felt abandoned by his mother. His mother also, she committed suicide, or she died by suicide. And Weldon, again, being the mentor of all these people, was always looked over by some of the people that he might have put on, and he was blackballed by the industry. And so just his soul is kind of wearing down and this is just the 70s. I didn't even get to the, the 80s. And, Weldon was a composer, right? And you're not really hiring too much for composers, out there. There's no composer records, out there in the late 70s, early 80s. And so he decided to go and try to play the ponies and get some money. And he discovered hip-hop. He was sampled by a lot of hip-hop artists like KRS-One, Tribe Called Quest. So he found a bridge between his world and the new world of hip-hop, and also found how to make money from that, but also stay a bit relevant. And then he began teaching the people who sampled him, teaching them how to play. It's like, well, if you like that, just learn how to play that yourself.
Yeah.
So, he was a mentor, but still he never really became, a star, never became a household name. Didn't press up a lot of records. He had to deal with RCA. He also had an independent label. And RCA scooped him up and then kind of just locked him down,
Interesting. Yeah. So it's, this story that is super impactful for the music industry, and so many of these people wouldn't exist without him, but never really got his due, and you're getting to tell that story with this documentary. Very, very cool.
I think even beyond music, like if you're a high school coach, that had a player go to the league, the big league, you know, and no one ever talks about you, but everyone knows you go through this high school, it's like a fast track to this college, and to and what happens to that guy. So Weldon was kind of like that high school coach or that
I gotcha.
or that college coach. And I think anyone and your grandma, could relate to certain things. Not just music. Music is what we see. It's but entertainment, it parallels real life. So I was never a jazz fan before I started doing research for this film, but I was still compelled.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you came across this story and what drew you to make this film.
I got to say I'm from Brooklyn. I'm supposed to my contract. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. and I grew up DJing mostly hip hop and R&B, soul music, a little bit of calypso. And I came across Weldon Irvine because a friend of mine, G. Clef, he said that I reminded him of Weldon. Weldon was one of his best friends, and it's like, okay, it's cool. Weldon Irvine is a weird name. I don't really care about,
Sure.
But then he started telling me about how Weldon was sampled by so many people, and I said, so you must have some good stuff that I could use. And then G. Clef knew his family. I said, so maybe I have when you're doing hip hop, you always want to have a direct connect to the family and whoever owns the rights. So you have, you can kind of circumnavigate sometimes the companies and everything. So I said, all right, let me dig. Let me dig for this guy, see what he's got. Went to all the record stores, in town. No one had Weldon Irvine records. No one really knew who he was, which is like the old dusty record stores, like next door. It's like they have everything, everybody, but Weldon Irvine, it couldn't really ring a bell until you would mention, well, he worked with Nina Simone, and he worked with Lenny White, he worked with Marcus Miller. Then it's like they would perk up a little bit. And I was like, oh, that sucks. So I went online, nothing really on YouTube. There were a few things on Google. There was only one website that had his whole story by a guy named Collis Davis, who grew up with Weldon and did a documentary on Weldon in the 70s. He told the life story, in a few paragraphs. Weldon wrote 500 songs, and he wrote how Weldon, he died by suicide at 58 years old. Went back to my friend G. Clef, was like, wow, I didn't know your friend, I didn't know these things. Yeah, I told you, but well, I didn't really care, whatever. Right. And I'll be real, I didn't really care. Sure. And when I found out the real story, with my own eyes, I was like, you know what? I got to tell this story, which was his idea. I said, yes, let's do it. Let's knock it out. It'll take a few months. Because I thought that whatever I found in my short search was all there was to know about him. It wasn't the case. Yeah. Wasn't the case. And so I just embarked on the journey, and that was 2015. Wow. It's been 4 years.
That's crazy to think about too. Man, that's incredible. Yeah. So you're making music. Somebody mentions this incredible artist, and you're having to dig and find all of these things about him, and it turns out to be this amazing feature-length film. Right. Such a cool story, man. Yeah. I love that.
I want to thank G. Clef, my friend. I want to thank Weldon, his family. Yeah. Because a lot of it, I had to go to his family to get my blessings, of course, but also to get some of the artifacts. So gotcha. Weldon taped a lot of things. Oh, okay. But he walked around with a boombox or whatever it was of that day. So I have cassettes. The earliest cassette is from '65. Wow. Up until 2001. So it's like 100 cassette tapes of Weldon conversations, Weldon calling up the radio, Weldon on the radio, Wow. And thankful for that. And a lot of the music actually is from cassette tapes, from live performances. And that was not there. By Tasha Digital, who's my music supervisor, that we're going to use either live music or use a vinyl. We're not going to go digital with it. Wow. So, so there's a whole lot of things going on with this this 4-year journey, which is kind of short to some, but
No, but I mean that's a big investment for a lot of time and a very cool story. That's super exciting that you're getting to tell it. Yeah, I love that. Well, it's going to be playing on Sunday. Over at Alamo Drafthouse.
Theater 8.
Perfect. If you guys do not have your tickets yet, you've got to check it out.
I would do that. Yeah. I would do that. I hear it's pretty good, man. I'm hearing, I really, you never know, but I'm hearing great things about it. Good. Humbling things about it. So, yeah. Good. Theater 8. Well, and I want to spell that for them. Please. So Weldon is Weldon, Irvine, Irvine. Perfect. So that's how you find
Look it up, guys. You got to check it out. Really, really, really cool story.
Thank you.
I love this. Guys, if you're not getting involved with the Denton Black Film Festival, you are missing out. The entire city is covered in cool things for you to check out. You have got to get involved and get your tickets and go to the expo and check out the music and the spoken word and all of these awesome films. This is a great part of Denton that we get to enjoy every single year, and we're really, really happy to have it here. Man, Victorious, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Guys, stay tuned right here at DentonRadio.com. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Do you love live music? If so, make Denton, Texas your next vacation. Find more information at discoverdenton.com.